Why hello there, fellow explorers, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts Fire in the Hold. Episode 26, Planning a Torch Burn to Ceres. So let's get back to K-Leg and get ready for a long trip over to Ceres after stocking up the things we need and doing a little light rewiring. Yeah, I have 2 spare O2 bottles on my person, which is why, like, my oxygen count is, like, a non-issue. I think what I'll do is I'll travel towards here as a point of reference, and then stop about here and go to K-Leg, because it's on the other side of Ganymed, so I can't really get to it. I was on 16x speed. I went a little hard on that transfer burn. So I have to keep an eye on my nav map so I don't slam into that derelict. So now, prep for the trip to Ceres is the priority. Ooh, electrical engineering over 85%. Soon we'll be trained. Now let's drift a little bit further. There we go. Refilling O2 bottles is a little nerve-wracking, yeah. I mean, on slow mode, you can wait for like 2 ticks and then stop. But they're so easy to blow up. They're also very inexpensive, so I like completely don't understand the need to fill up bottles. Just buy them for like 100 credits. It's too bad there isn't like a bottle filler. That'd be nice. But if you're worried, here we go. New bottle. And then my old bottle is on the ground. No problem. In fact, where I'm standing right now, I don't even have my helmet on. Yeah, the effort isn't rewarded. But in an emergency, it's useful to know, I guess, as a concept. Because it could save your life if you're nearly out. Alright. Hello, K-Leg. Whoa! I was under time acceleration. Alright, I would say home, but that would be wrong. We're already home. We're always home. I think what I want to do is only... I only want to rewire the front door to the switch. I'm not going to bother doing the nav station because little spoiler, but when I'm in Ceres, the nav station is going to be like not that important for rewiring. So that's my plan right now. So this is going to look a little strange. I'd like the power cable to be inside here. So, oh, that was okay. I can't put it there. Right, 'cause cooler. And the bed. I gotta figure out where I can install the cable for that. I could put it here and out that. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. So it's gonna look a little jank, but, you know, it's required. Actually, cancel that one. This one. You'll understand what's going on in a minute. Just gonna look a little funky until I'm done. And putting the stuff I want to sell away. So the plan is to put, like, this should be orange. There we go. Picking up the grinder. Put the grinder away. So the plan is to put a switch inside my cabin that can control the front door. In other words. So let's go grab that switch. And I'm going to install it. Here. Underneath that light. And then install power conduit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Basically have a cable that doesn't touch anything else go out to the door to be able to power on the door, and then uninstalling the cables that power the door. So the door's power comes from this switch. And that way, if I want the front door to lock down in a powered off mode, I can do that from my crew cabin, my closed bridge. That way, if I'm being boarded by someone I don't want to have to fight because they outnumber me or they outgun me, I can lock things down without actually having to rush to the door. Because if they board me, they might be standing right here. So it's a foot race. And I don't want a foot race for my survival. I want to just hop off the console and go click, and then they're locked out. Alright, some of the cables I installed are not in very good condition, so I want to restore them before they blow up and set fire to stuff. Visor, whoops, for power damage. Okay, this cable is the only one that needs restoration. Got it. Good. What got unpowered there? Oh, yeah, because I... Yep. That one back. Okay, so the nav station now has power. And then, let's... I might... what we'll end up having to do is I'll have to move some lights here in order to make this work. Because this is the... Oh, shoot. It went outside. That's annoying. So this is the power node for the door, or here, alternatively. And I don't want an adjacent cable touching it, because then the switch does not work. Where is the plug for... Alright, if I uninstall these lights, I think we're kind of done. Oh, that won't work. I don't know why I put it there. Okay. So now the tow brace is on and powered. And then if we want this door powered on, it's powered on, it's powered off. When it's powered off, well, it's open right now, but if it was closed, I would have to pry it. On, close, please. And then toggled. And I cannot access that location. So it's a front door lock that I have in my cabin. And it works. Perfect. I don't really need this cable, though. Okay, with that done, the next step is to restore everything in my ship for sale. So I'm just gonna leave him to auto repair all the stuff that I intend to sell. Pretty straightforward, though. I'm sure you could follow along. Okay, let's take a look at the damage overlay. Yeah. So the torch and canister hasn't been repaired. There we go. Auto up there. And then the Hydra, and I think that's all the damage now. Sweet. Alright, next, let's add a little bit of updated barter zone so that I can sell the stuff that's in the fusion room, because I didn't have room otherwise. So barter and haul will include, well, whatever. Not that. We'll include the nav, the MHD, the other MHD. Was there anything else I put in here? I think that was it. Yeah. Also should include here that optics. And that is, I think, as inclusive as it needs to be. All right. Question for you guys while I'm selling stuff. Should I make my way to the flotilla before leaving Ganymede? So the flotilla, for those that don't know, is a sort of like a pirate smuggler haven. The TLDR is that someone got tired of paying AOSEC money every time they wanted to, like, come to K-Leg and decided to, like, weld a whole bunch of junk together and make a new station. So if you want me to head over to the flotilla before I leave this area, you know, I could. All right, 134k. That, as I mentioned, I suspected I would make more than 100k, and I did. Except. Let's go pay the very exorbitantly high refuel fuel costs. So we got 100 and... Oh yeah, I basically broke even. 140, right? More or less. Pretty close to breaking even. And there goes all my money. But, you know, now we have all the tanks we need to make a really good trip up to Ceres. And that's what matters. Alright, to a little bit more time to vote. Oh, that's not where the poll should be. Here we go. A little bit more time to vote if you want me to make my way out to the flotilla or not. Other things I'm going to want before I leave. Let's think. So I have two. I'm going to buy some spare O2 bottles. I'll just send them to the barter zone. Actually, you know what? I don't want that. I don't know where they're going to end up. Because I have, like, fusion reactor barter zones. I will be buying fruit provisions, yeah. I just don't remember if there was, what I'm trying to remember is whether or not there was water in my sink. I think I filled the sink with water. Yeah, okay, the sink's filled with water. And my flasks are filled with water. So, what I'll do is I'll buy one more mega flask. And that should be fine to cover me for my trip. The 8-liter flask. And then just food. And maybe some supply material, like repair material. Does the scrubber have CO2 filters? It does. Yep. All right, in this bin, I am going to put my spare water. I'll put some spare cables. Spare O2 bottle as well. I'm just trying to like free up pockets. All right, then the last thing I would like to do is to buy some floors and walls in case of breaches, so that I don't necessarily have to solely rely upon repair. Also, because I installed both of these cans in the ground, like I installed them on the ship, they got filled. So I do have spare O2N2 cans for my crew quarter, if you were wondering. Before I do this, I'm going to update the barter zone. No, add it. There we go. Okay, Partisan's updated. Should I look for compression pants? Yeah, I'll see if they're selling any. They don't have a lot of stacks of flooring. So buy 3 mobilite walls. And 4 of the 4 floors, I guess. And then 4 of these floors, and then maybe a few more walls. It's going to mix. There's going to be a lot of mixing and matching issues. I'll even buy the Van Hummel ones. And we're just going to send that over. So this is just like repair parts if we have walls or floors blow out. So we can patch. Well, we don't have to patch. We can actually repair or replace. I'm going to say no wins by a singular vote. Then the last thing I'm going to do is to buy food. Well, and then possibly the pants. So I would like to buy mostly good food for the trip, just like personal preference. But do they have compression pants? No. They have cargo and t-shirt. Okay. They do. Oh, good. They do have a Dion the Dirt. The D-U-H-R-T, which is for mining. So I'm going to buy a Dirt. That's going to be really nice that I can buy that now. Okay, I think that's good on this front. Except, and I'll plop this bad boy into my nav. I am going to buy some cheap food, just in case. Better to have it not needed than need to not have it. Wait, are you? Hey! He's alive! The dude I dragged into the bathroom recovered. That sounds like I did something horrible to him. I saved his life, for reference. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna stop talking. The other things I wanted to do is to buy some trencher kung pao chickeny things, if you can even call it chicken. And we'll send that over to the barter zone. But let's buy some like actually good food. And Quack and Dory, thank you for the resubs. So let's do 6 of kebab chicken and 8 of spot prawn curry. Barter zoning that as well. And that's probably going to be enough food for the trip, I suspect. So, I can't think of anything else I want to stock up on, so let's get going. Before I do anything else, I want to tidy up the food, like to put where it should belong. It's worth noting, refrigeration is like not actually a thing in the game, and food doesn't actually spoil, and I have a refrigerator for role-playing reasons, not for the... It's not a necessity. It's a flex. So I did, what, 6 and 8? I'm missing some food here. Where is it? Oh, it's in my hands? That's awkward. It's like, where's my food? As I'm holding it like an idiot. Alright. Refrigerator. Gotta get that stocked up. The other thing I want to do is to then have this dolly have repair stuff. So if things go wrong, if I have holes to patch or punched out or whatever, I have a bunch of the repair parts ready to go. Cool. That part's done. And I'm also going to move the N2 and O2 tanks somewhere smarter, where it's not like at the edge of my ship that is likely to get struck by impact damage. Right, because anywhere closest to the edge of your ship is the most likely spots for getting it destroyed. So I'm going to just drop these cans in my living quarter to keep them protected. Alright. Pretty much all squared away. I'm going to do one last refilling of the O2N2 fuel, etc. And we are going to push off. I'm excited. Let's go swap the... Oh, this condition could be better. Restore the batteries. And swap them around. So yeah, my screwdriver had 8% charge left. Good. I think I'm all squared away. Putting the dirt component in. Okay. So, hopping into the nav console, we will get a good feed on what amount of fuel I have. I've got 26 hours, 26 and a half hours of reactant. Delicious. Now, there is one little issue where I think the sun is like between me and where I want to go. So that might become an issue. I don't know. We'll see. So first step, or rather the priority, torch, burn to Ceres. First step is to get out of the wake zone. And I don't want to use all of my nitrogen gas to do that. So I'm going to head out with the relative velocity of like 250 or so. I don't need to be going much faster. Let's have a nice meal. And then do some social needs stuff. Because we're about to basically go into hibernation here. For most of the burn. So we're just browsing social stuff and remembering family to bring those needs down. Being very nostalgic before we're leaving. I think Hunter's parents don't live around here, though. But whatever. All right, back on the nav. Where are we? We are not even close to out of torch zone. Got it. It is nice and temperate in here. Our physical needs are met. Is there something like gravity that you can slingshot around? Sort of, but like true Holman transfer slingshot maneuvers are not a thing. So gravity is a thing, but like you don't use it like that. Shelby, shut up. Stop contacting me. I don't want to speak to you. If I did, I would have reached out already. Okay, so I'm just studying up the admin book until we break out of the no torch zone. How do you fix altruism? Be nice to people? Yes. The problem with altruism is there's not a lot of altruistic things that you can functionally do. And the game doesn't recognize, like, saving someone's life as being altruistic. Which, like, if you saved another dude's life... Because I already saved Franklin, right? Franklin was essentially dying on a wreck. And I saved Franklin's life. But, like, the game didn't count it. So it doesn't... It's not like I did it, as far as the game's concerned. I don't even bother with altruism as a result. All right, that's enough studying. All right, I am going to create a save point here, though. Torch to Ceres. As a, just in case something super goes wrong, you know, I have a revert point. Here is how to plan a torch burn. So you want to be paused and under 1x speed. Both of those are important. You need to be outside of the wake zone, which I am. And then let's go to zoom all the way out. And we are heading to B, Sir, which is Ceres. And then let's zoom in mostly. Now there's two. So a lot of these are going to be spoilers. But because it's a huge part of the content, just know that it's going to get spoiled. Ceres is a conflict zone. Essentially, you have two major factions. So this base here is the Ceres resource extraction faction. And this base is the Galilean Confederacy faction. And if you open up your home tab here with faction ties, Coalition of the Ceres Resource Extraction and Galilean Confederacy, these are the two opposing factions in that asteroid belt that are essentially fighting over land claim. That about sums up what's going on over there. And it's an active war zone. So there's all these valuable asteroids that they're fighting over. And in order to interact with Ceres, you have to join a faction. And I'm going to choose to join the Galilean Confederacy rather than the, you know, the Coalition for Resource Extraction. All right, so I'm going to select Be Sir as the zone. Now, it's entirely possible. When I arrive, I don't have any rep with either faction, so I could probably visit both of their bases. But I intend to work for the Galilean Confederacy. Is there a difference? There isn't a big difference, no. It's basically, you know, one company versus another company with not too much difference between the two. So in order to plan a torch burn over here, let's go ahead and edit our nav, pull out the put in the course plot and pull the other one out. And now let's zoom back to our ship. What we're going to be doing is plotting out a course. And the way the course plot works, and as you can see, I'm basically passing by the sun, but let's assume we're going to be fine. This is our plotted course. It is 4.46 AU. It is not close. And I only have 26 hours of reactant. So this current plot, for one, probably has me burning like the entire way and burning like a crazy amount of reactant. So the first thing I'm going to do is override the thrust limiter so I can go higher than like 1.7 Gs. Because I know my character can handle about 4 Gs. So I'm going to go just shy of 4 Gs and burn at like 3.9. Then that's our mass acceleration limit. Then I'm going to change the drift phase so that I have some fuel left. So here's like a 22-hour burn that will take 134 hours. Or a 24.7-hour burn that will take 123 hours. This works. And I plot the course. Now, you can only plot courses when the game's paused, and executing the course engagement... Well, the other thing is I need the thrust cycle active, but executing the course engaged will often fail unless the game's on 1x speed after you pause. So don't be on like times 16 speed, because what will end up happening is like the game will like super hiccup and then think you're off course already. And that's all we really do. And the way this is going to work is we are going to burn really hard for the first, let's say, fifth of the journey, coast for 3/5 of the journey, and then burn really hard in the opposite direction for the last fifth of the journey. That's more or less how these work. And this is going to be a 5-day travel time. And in those 5 days, I'm basically just going to sleep, eat, drink, maybe go potty, sleep, eat, drink, maybe go potty. And then I say potty because I have a toddler. And then any damage that is incurred during travel, I will subsequently have to repair. So let's do it. Course engage. Oh, plot course engage. There we go. Unpause. And now the ship is rotating to get on course, and then massively accelerating under really high G-force burn towards Ceres. So right now we are, as you can see in the accelerometer, going 3.89 Gs towards Ceres. And the amount of G-force that you can survive is going to heavily depend upon the health of your character, the age of your character, medical conditions of your character, whether you have compression pants for clothing, whether you're under grav pen, whether you're sitting down, laying down, sleeping, standing, etc. There's a whole bunch of different variables, and you should figure out what is tolerable for your character before you plan a G-burn, because if you go over your G-force tolerance, you won't get blood to your brain and you will die. So there's a lot at risk for doing it wrong. What the heck is... Oh, that's me? I guess? It looks like I'm, like I have something in tow. But I don't. Also, if you would like a little foray into what mining is like, there is this asteroid, micro-asteroid field here, outside of K-Leg, but my character wants combat, not mining, so we're heading to where the mining's at. Alright. So there we go. Character's not feeling great. One consequence of being under really high Gs, I move about this fast. So if there's damage to the ship, it's going to be hard to react to the damage. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep one grav pen on me at all times, so that if there is damage and it's urgent, I can stick myself with one of the grav pens and move around a little bit more quickly. Yeah, I'm in slug mode. Now, if I'm on like times 16 speed, I can move around. So there we go. It is 1... Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm planning to hibernate the way there. And you can see the distance to target changing. So initially, we're not moving very fast, right? Like, actually, before I even do this, how fast am I actually moving? Relative to K-Leg. I'm moving at 6.5 kilometers a second. So it's fast, but it's not get to the other side of the solar system fast. But we're going to be actively accelerating for like a full day. So as time goes on, as we sleep, we will get faster and faster and faster. So here we go. 6 hours of rest. And anything that is happening, like damage or whatever, will be reported. So you can, in your nav link, you can get the logs, you know, or you can check your console, so just to keep track of if you're damaged or not. So now we are moving at 80 kilometers per second relative to K-Leg as a point of reference after 6 hours, because we've been actively accelerating at almost 4 Gs for 6 hours. So, a lot faster. And I am going to choose not to eat or drink or anything right now, or go to the bathroom. I'm just going to sleep another 6. So now in this next 6 hours, I'm moving farther than I did before. Also, note, my suit's out of power. You're not allowed to sleep with a helmet on. So my suit out of power just means my suit is no longer actively cooling me. Not a big deal. So having slept for the first 12 hours, let's go and tend to my physical needs. It is, what, 13? Okay. So first things first, let's grab a spare battery. Charge up the old one. We have hygiene need, water need, and food need. So let's eat. Drink. Wash up with the water. Pretty frequently, your nav console will get bugged. Your nav station will get bugged, and you'll need to debug it, and it's worth debugging it whenever it's bugged. But what the hell? That's not good. I don't know why we dropped out of warp. We shouldn't have by me using my nav station. It should not have dropped me. I don't think it was an impact. It just randomly dropped me out of warp. We might need to redo that. That's okay. That's why I had the save point. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I am not, however, looking for feedback. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow shipwreckers.